Lightroom presets are a wonderful tool for two primary reasons. One, for quick adjustments to images. If you have figured out a way to create a preset that will make particular adjustments to contrast, to color tonality, etc., and you can save those presets for use in efficient post-production, that's wonderful. The other reason to use Lightroom presets would be to give your images a particular finish. For example, the Replichrome presets from Totally Rad Actions apply a film-like finish to images, which is particularly popular these days. But you would be using a Lightroom preset to give your images what I like to call a baseline finish. This is certainly how photographers edit uses Lightroom presets before going to make adjustments to brightness, to contrast, to color. Now, it's important to keep in mind if you ever need to either create a new preset for yourself, if you're creating one of those baseline presets or even an adjustment preset, or if you're updating an existing preset. Maybe you purchased a preset from Totally Rad, but you want to make an adjustment to the way that that preset works. There are a couple of settings that you need to pay attention to. And actually, more specifically, 3 settings. No, I'm going to take that to 4 settings that you need to pay attention to, and I'm going to show you what I mean. First of all, let me just apply this particular Kodak Ektar 100 Noritsu preset. We're going to apply this to the image that you see in front of you. Do keep in mind, we're not doing this demonstration for the sake of accurate color as much as just showing you how Lightroom presets work. So I'm going to click on that preset. You'll notice it very simply increases the contrast and adjusts the color tonality in the image. But one thing, if you look at the sliders over on the right-hand side in this basic adjustments panel, that you'll notice is it does not change 2 things. Number 1, the temperature slider. Number 2, the exposure slider. Okay, so let me undo that particular preset, Command-Z or Control-Z if you're on a Windows computer. I'm going to apply that particular preset again. Watch those sliders, the temperature and exposure slider over on the right-hand side. You'll notice the exposure stayed the same. The temperature stayed the same. Now, why does this matter? If you're creating a preset to be used as a baseline finish, and just to expound on that a little bit, Photographer's Edit, when it processes your images, applies either our production color preset, or if you provided us a preset, we apply your preset to those images before we begin any processing. So we're applying that preset as a baseline finish to your images, and then making adjustments to color, contrast, brightness, etc. So if we're doing that, assuming that's how we're using the Lightroom preset, I certainly don't want to apply a preset that makes changes to the exposure and or the white balance if I photographed the image the way that I wanted it to look in the first place. So for example, if I apply this Ektar preset to my image, and I make a couple of adjustments to it, and I say, wow, this is a wonderful look that I want to maintain across my post-production work, and I want to apply it to future images as well. I right-click or I control-click on this particular preset. I click on the Update with Current Settings option. I need to make sure that I am unchecking 3 boxes. Now, fortunately, we already have the Auto Tone button unchecked. We're also going to uncheck white balance and exposure. And really, we're leaving all of those unchecked for the very same reasons. We don't want the software to decide what our image was supposed to look like or how we should have photographed that image. However, we do want the rest of the adjustments, assuming that you want all of these, and of course you can check or uncheck based on your preferences, but we do want the software to apply that finish based on your chosen settings to this image and to future images. We just need to make sure we leave out the white balance in the exposure, certainly the auto tone doing similar things, so that it doesn't distort the image to begin with. So keep that in mind. Again, if you're creating a preset as well, you've processed the image, you've gotten a particular look, you want to create a fresh preset that maybe you want to sell to the world and make millions. Make sure that you're not saving, unless it is actually applicable, that you're not saving certainly the auto tone option, but you're also not saving white balance and you're not saving exposure, because you do not want to interfere with your photography. I will also make note that if you are creating a color preset, make sure that you have checked this option here, treatment color. If you want that preset to be able to override maybe a black and white preset and to change a black and white image to color, that you've saved that setting there. Now you'll notice if you ever create a black and white preset using the black and white mixing panel, if I were to create a preset after having made that adjustment, the option changes to treatment black and white. And I would leave that checked so that it would override color preset or color settings in images in the future. So this gets a little bit technical, and you may have to play around with it a little bit. But keep these details in mind because it's really important, especially if you're uploading a preset to Photographer's Edit to use as a production preset. This is a preset that we're going to apply to your images across the board. Make sure you're uploading a preset that is giving your images a baseline finish, but that is not distorting your original photography.